Hello? Is it working? I'm so sorry. That audio is full on not working. Hopefully it's working now. I'm going to check the comments a little bit sooner this time. Usually it takes a little bit for people to like come into the chat, so I don't usually check comments till I've rambled for a little bit, but in the comments you guys all were like, there's no audio. So before I start rambling, I'm going to make sure there's audio because that's kind of crucial to a live stream, I think. So yeah, so if you're already here, if you're early or whatever, just like let me know right away if there's audio so that I can post the link for other people so that they can see that it's hopefully working now. This has been an interesting journey of getting this to work. Usually it's not this difficult, but yeah. So I guess I'll just post the link and hopefully somebody will tell me if there's no audio because there's really no way for me to know unless somebody tells me. Okay, so let me post the link just in case. Hopefully there's audio. Live stream. Is the audio working now? Okay, let's just publish that just so people can know it's happening and let me know. It's working? Thank you so much, Kylie Einstein. You're my hero. Okay, so now that it's working, let me post some real links just to make sure that everyone that wanted to come originally half an hour ago knows that it's working now. Okay, so let me just quickly post these links and then I will get started. Okay. Should be working now. And ask questions. Okay. This is gonna work, right? Right? Okay, and ask questions. All right, it's tweeted, Facebooked, Instagram, I just said go to my channel, so we should be good. I sure hope so. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, there's a lot to figure out with live streams. Hello. I'm so sorry it wasn't working before. This has been a mess. Originally, my Wi-Fi wasn't working and couldn't get it to connect, so I went over to my router and I tried to like do the thing where you unplug it a little bit and then see if that works. That didn't work. So then the router just turned off completely, and so I was like, well, I guess I'm not doing the live stream. But then my dad came home, and he saved the day and restarted it for me because he knows all that stuff. So that was really good. Then, of course, if you were here for the first live stream, there was no audio, and I talked for probably like, I don't know, 8 minutes. Maybe not. Maybe shorter. But anyway, it should be working now. So yay, if you made it, if you stuck around this long, we're only a half hour late, you guys. That's pretty good, right? Yeah, not bad. When I leave my computer on for too long, I usually don't shut it down, which is probably bad. The mic doesn't work, so like when I try to Skype people and I haven't shut my computer down in a while, the mic doesn't work, and I should have thought of that, but I didn't. So yeah, but the reason for this live stream is that it is my 12th Diaversary today, and so yay! The reason that I celebrate Diaversaries, I thought I should probably explain this because I noticed in the comments on Facebook there was some like, not controversy, but like discussion about why you would even celebrate a Diaversary. So I thought I would just tell you. I choose to celebrate a Diaversary. It doesn't mean you have to. If it's weird for you and you're like, no, like the day I was diagnosed was really hard and I didn't like it, obviously, and it's not something I want to remember, I guess. That's fine, but I choose to celebrate it just because to me it's obviously not celebrating like, yeah, I'm so happy I'm diabetic. Yes, another year, woo. It's more like, yes, another year that I was successful with diabetes. Like, no diabetic is going to be perfect blood sugar wise or in anything really, but it's another year that I've worked really, really hard to have the best control that I can. So I just kind of look back at the year and think about, wow, like this year I put in so much time, so much effort, so much work into making sure that I could be as healthy as possible. And I think that that's something worthy of celebrating because diabetes is a lot of work. And you know that if you're a diabetic. So that is what I choose to celebrate. It's another year that I put the work in, another year that I was healthy, another year that I was successful. You know, I'm living my life and it didn't stop me. Like, I don't know. So birthdays, I feel like, are kind of, in a way, similar. Maybe this is morbid, but it's like, yeah, it's your birthday, another year, you didn't die. Woo, you're still alive, yay. Maybe that's not what they are. But anyway, so like Diaversary is like, yeah, another year, you like diabetes didn't win, you did. Like, you're still here and you're still doing well. So that's why I celebrate Diaversaries, if you were wondering and you thought it was weird. It's fun fact, if you have a Diaversary and you go to a restaurant, last year I went to a restaurant and my mom was like, yeah, we're celebrating because it's her Diaversary, like this is the 11th year she's had diabetes, and the waitress was just kind of like, oh, like she was like fake, like, okay, yeah. She had no idea what I was talking about. She's like, why? You could just tell she was kind of like, you're celebrating that? Why? So yeah, but if you're diabetic, hopefully you kind of get it, or it's just, I don't know, it helps. Anyway, so let's get to your questions. Hopefully you asked some. I noticed there was a lot being asked for the Q&A, and that's why I set up this actually. Don't you like it? I actually really like this. I might do this more often. This is a bunk bed and a blanket. So if it falls down partway through, you know why. Because it's a blanket. That could be funny. Okay. I'm so glad it's working. Okay. So hopefully I can see questions and everything.
Why? You can just tell she's
oh,
kind
there's
of like,
me. Okay. So I'm just going to go back to like my original post and when I asked for questions, just because that way I can see them sooner. Because they're already there, so that's really helpful. Usually I don't have like pre-put up questions. And a lot of people on Instagram ask me, so maybe I'll go there first actually, so I can see. Okay, I'm gonna go to Instagram first. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go ahead. But I'll also be looking at Facebook and YouTube as well. But I just noticed there's a lot of questions on there. So let me just quickly go, if I can do it. Maybe. Maybe. Ooh, you guys asked a lot of questions on there. If I have a lot of questions left over, I still might film a Q&A just because I already have it all set up, so it'd be easier. Which answer should I question? Which answer should I question? Which question should I answer? Okay, Baron_Chloe said, how do you react when someone says, you can't eat that, it has sugar? This used to really, really bother me actually, like when I was not even first diagnosed, like for a long time, that was my biggest pet peeve, would be when people would ask me that or like tell me that I couldn't have something. Over time, I've just kind of like used to it in a way. Like obviously I don't enjoy it, but I don't let it bother me as much just because I know that people don't know. And it kind of is unfortunate that people don't know that much about diabetes, but I feel like it's up to people that have diabetes, unfortunately, to kind of let people know about diabetes, because how else are they going to find out? Like, I don't know everything about every single disease, and that's okay. Like, there's no way you can know everything about everything, and there's a lot of misconceptions. So I try to be more sensitive now and just kind of be like, you know, I can't have anything, and I just have to match that with sugar. I try to say, you know, I can have sugar as long as I, you know, take it with insulin, as long as I'm not already like having a high blood sugar, just kind of play it by ear, that kind of thing. So I just kind of try to educate them, I guess. Even they're probably not what they're looking for, but I mean, they're wrong, so what are you gonna do? Okay, let me look at the YouTube comments now, since you guys are actually the ones involved, so I should probably be looking there. Let's see. Kylie Einstein said, she's the one who let me know it's working. Thank you so much, Kylie. Has there ever been a time when you wish you didn't have diabetes? I don't think anybody really wishes that they have diabetes. Like, I'm a very positive person about it, and I think there are a lot of awesome, awesome things that have come into my life because of diabetes. But if I could choose, like, not to have it, I would choose not to have it. Like, it just, nobody wants to do all that extra work. Nobody wants all those extra doctor's appointments, those extra expenses, those extra health risks. Like, nobody wants that, right? No one would be like, yeah, sign me up. But I can acknowledge that a lot of awesome things have happened because of my diabetes, a lot of great opportunities for me to go to like conferences and conventions and do this YouTube channel, and my career is going to be that, and I've met a lot of awesome people through it. So it's like, it's created a lot of great things for me. But I've never like wished that I had it, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So, but I have never really gotten into like a huge slump, except for when I was first diagnosed, where I was like really, really like, I hate this, I don't want to have this, any of that. That was more when I was first diagnosed, when I wondered like, why me? Why is this happening? Like, I don't want this. This is the worst thing ever. Whereas now I've just gotten kind of used to it. But every once in a while, you know, you maybe see your friends having an easier time doing something like going on a spontaneous trip, and you have to plan a little bit more. And you're like, wow, I wish I didn't have to do that. But it's kind of like a passing thought for me. So yeah. Kristen Redmond says, I was honestly planning a party for my 25th Diaversary with an insulin pump cake, and we were going to combine it with my parents' 60th birthday. So that's awesome. I've never had a party because of my Diaversary. Usually we just kind of do something special as a family. So we like go get dinner, or when I was younger, we went to like this jungle gym place, but a party, that's really cool. I think that'd be a good way to kind of include your friends in what diabetes is and stuff. So that's a cool idea. Mr. Dazarki says, I've never celebrated it. Maybe I will next year on February my 24th Diaversary. Better late than never, right? Yeah, better late than never. I think it's fun. I mean, diabetics get 2 birthdays. They get their actual birthday and their diabetic birthday, and I think it's worth celebrating that you did another year. So I'd say, yeah, go for it. Chris Owen, long time no speak. I remember you from Twitter, I think, right? Twitter. How you been, bro? Been good? Let's see. Mr. Dazarki also says, what was your lowest HbA1c? My lowest was actually, I think, this last one, so 6.8, which I realized is like, to me, that's like super low, but other people can get into the 5 somehow. I don't know how you all do that, but I'm just happy if there's progress, like if it gets lower. So anything under 7, I'm usually super happy about. When I was younger, it's actually better, at least that's what I was told, for your A1C to be like in the 7s. You don't want it too low because you don't want to go low too often as a kid because it's not good for your brain development, blah, blah, blah. So my highest since diagnosis was 8.0, and my lowest has been 6.8. So I've always been in that realm. When I was diagnosed, it was like 14 or something like that. But that doesn't really count because I was just being diagnosed and I didn't even know I had diabetes. So yeah. Okay, I'm going to get another question from Instagram because there's a lot of questions in there and I like answering them. So let's go to the top, shall we? Type 1 girl said, my question is, have you ever had a really big issue with your pump? Really big issue with my pump? Honestly, no, and I feel super thankful for that. I have the Animus insulin pump, and there's been a lot of times where I had to get a new one, but it wasn't because it wasn't working, and I realized, I said that in a video before, and I didn't specify that it didn't actually break all the way. Like, it's more like you get these error messages, and they told me if I get, like, I think it's 2 or 3 of them, then I should just get a new pump because something is wrong, and they don't know exactly what. Or it's just when the buttons are starting to wear out, they're starting to fall off, it's not waterproof anymore, that type of thing. And so then I just get a new one. But I've actually never had my pump not work at all, like where it wasn't giving insulin or the screen wasn't turned on, never. So I'm super thankful for that because I've heard a lot of people, not trying to diss on Medtronic, I think Medtronic is awesome, but I've heard that like their pumps can malfunction to the point where you can't even like use it, and that's kind of scary to me. But yeah, no big issues, I would say, other than like, I guess your set falls out, but that doesn't happen very often. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to YouTube now. What's LCHF, Martin Jones? I feel silly. I wish I knew what that was. Okay. Minecrafter Sir says, what is your lowest blood sugar? My lowest blood sugar, I thought for so long that it was 26. I've been 26 2 different times. And I have a video on that on one of the times on my channel. It's called My Lowest Blood Sugar Ever or something like that. But I realized lately, I think I found something. It was like, okay, on Facebook, they do that thing where it's like, look back on this day, and it shows you what you posted on that day in different years. And one of the years I had posted that I was like 23 or something. And I was like, what? I've been lower than 26? So 23 or 26, but I've never passed out from it. So I'm really thankful for that. Like when I was 26, I honestly, the first time I didn't really feel that bad. I just came back from a bike ride. I think I had a lot of adrenaline pumping. I wasn't really paying attention to how my body was feeling. And that way I was paying attention more to the bike ride, and I was 26 and I thought I was 62 because I transposed the numbers, but I had some snacks, came back up and I was good. Second time I was 26, it was in the middle of the night, and that was super scary because I woke up and I felt low. Oh, that's why I woke up, and I checked and I was so low. So I like went downstairs, got this huge thing of juice. I just remember chugging it as fast as I could because I was so worried about being that low in the middle of the night. And soon after I got a Dexcom so that I had my continuous glucose monitoring, so it could wake me up before I got that low. So I'm really happy about that. That is why I love the CGM, because I didn't feel the low till I was 26, which is a bit low. Brooke Wilson says, out of all the pumps you've had, which has been your favorite? I've always had the Animus pump, but I've had different versions of it. So I think the first one was the Animus, what was it called? It was like 1640 or something. Something like that, some numbers, where it was just like black and white screen, very generic. Then I got the Animus 2020, which was with the color screen, and then I got the Animus Ping, which had the reader remote, and then I got the one I have now, which is the Animus 5 with the CGM. And I would say my favorite one, it has to be the CGM one, just because it's nice to not have to carry a Dexcom anymore, and I like the alerts on the Animus 5. They're very happy, whereas the ones on the Dexcom were very scary and loud and just like in your face. So I really like that. So probably the Animus 5. But I really want to try the T-Slim, honestly. Especially once they get the Dexcom integrated. I think that would be a really cool pump to try. I really like how it looks, and I like the idea of not having to scroll through all the numbers. So the T-Slim, if you don't know, is an insulin pump with a touchscreen. So instead of like having to scroll up to how many carbs or scroll up to what your blood sugar is, you can just type it in, which is so nice. So I'm thinking about trying that one, but honestly, I just got this pump, and I want the CGM integrated, so I wouldn't upgrade now. But yeah. Let's see. Someone's asking where you get an A1C done. I just don't know how to say your name. Slagarp1 plays MC. You go to your endocrinologist. So I'm supposed to go to my endocrinologist every 3 months, and I go get my A1C checked. I have like a physical type of thing. Not really. It's more like a foot check and like general diabetes specific stuff. And then that's how you, oh, you said never mind. Okay. I just read your other comment. Never mind. Okay. Okay, Tommy Elder says, I was diagnosed only a month ago, so I don't really know how to tell with this whole new life, but I keep getting lows in the middle or after class in college. Do you have any tips? First tip would be you should talk to your doctor or diabetes team, because I can't give you like specific medical advice over the internet, obviously, but I would say what I would do in that situation, if you're on a pump, which you're probably not if you're just diagnosed, but I would, if I saw that pattern every single day at the same time, I would do less insulin at that time. So usually what I do, because insulin takes a little bit to work in your body, I usually pick the 3-hour mark ahead of when I'm going low. So if I was going low at 3 p.m. every day, at noon, I would bump my insulin down a little bit in my basal rates. And then that way, once 3 came around, I would have less insulin working, and hopefully I wouldn't go low. If that's not the case and you're on shots, you just have to have a snack. You just have to have a snack before you go low. I mean, that's what I would do at least. So, yeah. Eleanor M says, what is your favorite low-carb food? Low-carb food. That's a good question. I feel like there aren't enough low-carb foods. Anyone else with me? Like, why aren't there more low-carb foods? Why aren't cookies low-carb? That'd be awesome. Probably, I feel like the best low-carb food, because it has so much in it, would be like a salad. So, because you can get lettuce, you can put cheese, you can put meat, you can put a little bit of dressing if it's like, it's not that much carbs, and you can put like carrots, and I don't know, I feel like there's a lot you could put in it, and so it's nice. But yeah. Oh, that's a good question. Ryan Ayers says, do you use the manual or auto insertion sets on your pump, thinking about pumping again after 10 years, but used to dread set insertions? I use automatic, and I've actually always used automatic. It's kind of funny because when I was on shots, I never did the automatic inserter, which there is available. I don't know if you've seen it. It looks like a little rocket. You put the syringe in there, and then it like injects it for you. I don't know if they have it for the pen, but yeah, I never used the automatic injector. It scared me. But then when I got a pump, I was like, I don't know. They just gave me the automatic one, and I just have always done that. So it comes with a little plastic thing and automatically injects it for me. I feel like the reason I don't want to manually do it is because it feels a lot bigger, because it's like a needle and it's also a tube, and I feel like you need more force. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never done a manual insertion, so I like the automatic. But it is kind of scary. Like, I see what you mean about dreading them, because it's loud and it's quick, and you like don't know exactly when it's coming. You don't know if it's gonna hurt. But I usually just try to distract myself, so I like listen to music, or I just like look at something else, watch a TV show. I still use those tips, even though I've had the pump for like 8 or 9 years, just because it helps me. So, yeah. Jenny Scott Marsiski, I'm probably butchering so many of these names, said, I might get an insulin pump. I'm almost positive I want Animus. What do you think? I think that you should research all the pumps. I like my Animus, but that doesn't mean that that's like the best pump for you, because They just all have like different features. Mostly in general, they're the same. Like they do the same thing. They give you insulin, but each one has kind of their special features. So like Animus is waterproof. T-Slim is a touch screen where you can push in the what am I saying? Like number amounts. It also has a cartridge that's like a bag. I don't know. Medtronic has, what's different now? It used to be I had to integrate CGM, but now so does Animus. I don't know. They're just like different things. So if you look online, you can often find a chart of like comparing all the different pumps and the features. That's what I did when I first got an insulin pump. I looked at all the pumps on the market. I found a comparison and saw what was important to me. Like, is it important that it's waterproof? If so, you probably shouldn't get the Medtronic pump because those aren't waterproof. Is it important to have a CGM integrated? If so, you need to look at ones that have that. So yeah, hopefully that kind of helps. But I like Animus. That's the only one I've ever had, so it doesn't really help, does it? Minecraft Sirs again says, what is your favorite low-carb drink? My favorite low-carb drink is definitely Diet Coke all the way. Diet Coke with a little bit of lemonade is like the best thing. It's bad for you. I mean, it's better, I feel like, for me than regular Coke just because of the diabetes, but in general, like, I feel like Diet Coke and regular Coke is the same unhealthiness level, but for diabetics, I go for diet for the blood sugar reasons. So yeah. Musketeer, oh, I just scrolled. I think there Musketeer 99 says, I think there needs to be a diabetes-specific restaurant. What do you think? I think that'd be cool, but I guess what I would want it to be, I wouldn't want it to be necessarily, I feel like when I hear diabetes restaurant, I think that people would make everything sugar-free, and it'd all be like fake sugar, and fake sugar does not sit well. Like, I don't like how it tastes, I don't like how it affects my body. So I feel like, yes, a diabetes-specific restaurant, if that meant that it had all the carb counts listed and it they were posted and there were a lot of low-carb options, like, I think that would be awesome. But I don't know how much business they would get because they could only be in one place at a time, but whatever. Nur Yavuz, wow, these names are hard to pronounce, I'm sorry, says hello. Eleanor M says, do you use alcohol wipes when you do your set change or not? I've been kind of bad about using alcohol wipes. I recently, well, kind of recently, not really, like 6 months ago, started using them again, and then I ran out, and then I stopped buying them. I feel like they're obviously recommended and like a very good idea to make sure you don't get an infection or anything. You want to wipe off all that bacteria. But I honestly haven't noticed a difference when I wear them versus when I don't in terms of like how red my set is after I take off my set, all that good stuff. But you're supposed to use it, like, better safe than sorry. So I definitely try to, but I ran out and I just didn't buy any more. Whoops. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to pick a question that I haven't answered. I just lost it. Oh, that's cute. Reborn Lover 101 says, tomorrow is my Diaversary and I'm getting a guinea pig. It will be my 5th. Happy Diaversary. That's so cute. You're getting a guinea pig. Are you getting a guinea pig for your Diaversary? Because that's awesome. I feel like I need to get a guinea pig today. That's not fair. That's not fair. I want to get a guinea pig. No, just kidding. That is really exciting for you. I like that. Okay. I'm going to go back to Instagram real quick to get a question, because I feel like the most questions are in there. And then I'll come back to YouTube, so don't even worry about it. Back to the top. Good. I'm going to find a good one. I feel like, okay. Oh, this is a really good question. I actually haven't been asked this, I feel like. Emma W133 on Instagram said, when you were first diagnosed, how did you check your blood sugar and give insulin at school? Was it hard? Was the nurse involved? I kind of forget about school sometimes. Not like, I assume you're meaning like elementary school. I kind of forget about that time sometimes because it was just so long ago, but not really, I guess. But it feels long ago. What I did when I was first diagnosed, I was actually only on 2 shots a day, so I don't think they really use this that much anymore, but I was on NPH, at least not in the US. I was on NPH and Humalog, so NPH is like an intermediate acting insulin, so it doesn't last the whole day. It lasts about like, I guess half the day, you could say. So I was on 2 shots, and I was on So no shots at lunch, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So I could take my shot in the morning. One of them was mixed, so it had both short-acting and long-acting. And then I would go to school, and I wouldn't eat any shots all day. I would have my snacks in the morning and the afternoon, and I would have my lunch. And that was when I was on a meal plan because of that shot schedule. So I was on a meal plan where I only could have a certain amount of carbs for each meal, and we had just picked those with my dietitian, and then she set up my doses based on that. So every day for lunch, I just have the same amount of carbs, and then I would get home, and for dinner, that's when I would take my other shot. So luckily, since I couldn't even give my own shots for a while when I was first diagnosed because I had a big fear of needles, luckily I was able to do it that way. And then once I started having to the point where I was getting more shots, I switched to Lantus eventually too, and I was having shots more, obviously. Eventually I was on 6 shots a day. When I did have to take shots in school, what did I do? I think, I didn't have a school nurse. I went to a private school. So what I did is I would go to the, it's kind of funny, like we didn't have a school nurse, but we had receptionists and like office people, and they're actually the ones that would help me. So I would go to the school office, and that's where all my supplies were stashed, and I would get my checker and check, and I think I would write down my number maybe to take it home, and then I would have my lunchbox with my carbs written out from packing it, and then I would bolus. I would give a shot there, just because that's where my supplies were, and that way if I was having trouble or something, there was an adult that could help me. And then once I got older, I stopped doing that because I was older and I could keep my supplies with me. I could, you know, just go to my locker and check there, and then I was on the pump, so I could just bolus, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of how I did it. Did I even answer the question? I think I did. What did I do in school? Yeah, that's what I did. All right, let me look back on YouTube. Let me look back on YouTube. Somebody, Eleanor M is saying a Medtronic 640G is waterproof. Is it really? As far as I knew, I thought no Medtronics were waterproof, but maybe that one is. That would be cool. I'm surprised they're not waterproof, honestly, because I feel like that's kind of important. I don't know, to me. I've dropped it in the bathtub a time or two. So, where am I? Oh, Tommy Elder says, is having a CGM a good idea? I love the CGM. It has changed my life. Like, I can't even imagine diabetes without the CGM anymore, really. Like, I rely on it so much. And the reason for that is a lot of things, but one big thing that really, like, pushed me into the CGM, well, there's a couple things, but I started to not be able to feel my lows until they were really low. And that's scary because you don't want to feel your low when you're 30. You want to feel your low at 70 or 60. So sometimes I do. Sometimes I feel low at 70. Other times I just don't, and that's scary to me. So the CGM, obviously, you can set it to alarm at different times. So you can set it to alarm when you're 70, and so then I'll know sooner, hopefully, that I'm low. It's also really good for highs, though, too, because whereas before, like, this is another reason. In the middle of the night, or not middle of the night, in the morning I woke up, and this is before I had a CGM, so I checked my blood sugar, and I was in, like, the 300s, maybe 400. I feel like 300, so really, really high. And I felt really bad. I was already feeling nauseous. I was so thirsty, and I had to go to class. And so I just remember as I was getting ready for the day, I was just downing water, trying to get my blood sugar down after I had bolus. And what had happened was my insulin pump set had come out in the middle of the night, and, like, there's nothing I can do to prevent that. Like, that's just so random. That never happened to me. And so it's that kind of thing where, like, if I had a CGM, it could have alarmed when I hit, like, 180 or 200, whatever I set it at, so that I would have known so much sooner that I was high, and I could have addressed the problem a lot quicker. And so that's what I really like about the CGM, is it helps keep you in range more often, because it lets you know when you're out of range a lot quicker than maybe you would have caught on your own. I also really like it for trends. That's another big thing. So when I was not having a CGM, if I was, like, okay, think of it this way. It's a graph, right? So usually if you're just checking your blood sugar, you might see a blood sugar at 100 and, like, 120. And you think, wow, I've been, like, fairly stable, like, throughout the day. That's pretty good. But what you might be missing is maybe you had a big spike in between. Maybe your basal rates are way off. You had a big spike in between that 100 and 120, and you never knew because you didn't have a CGM. Whereas if you have a CGM, obviously it'll alarm, but even if it didn't, because you had that off or something, you could see that graph and you could see what had happened. while you were sleeping or while you weren't paying attention to your diabetes for a second or whatever. Anyway, so it's really good for seeing what's happening in between blood sugar checks. It also gives you more data because you treat something differently based on where it's going, right? So an 80 for me is like really good, that's great, but it's almost low, right? So if I was 80 with a down arrow, I would probably eat. If I was 80 with an up arrow, I probably wouldn't. So it helps because it shows you that on the CGM. So trends, excuse me, are really, really good. I obviously have a very dry throat right now. 1 second. So yeah, that's why I love the CGM, like the main points, the highlights of it. I wouldn't ever not use it. So while my throat is dry, I just realized my computer is only on 17%. So I'm going to leave for half a second. Don't go anywhere though, because I'll be right back. I'm just going to get my charger, okay? Are you good? Okay. I'm back. Don't leave. Do you love that background? You just love it? I bet you love it. Okay. Ooh, trash can. Let me just plug this in. This is a blanket, in case you didn't know. Okay. How's that? I'm back. Okay. Don't you feel so out of shape when you run up the stairs and you get out of breath? That's how I feel. Whew. Okay. Anywho, hopefully you asked questions while I was gone. Whew. I actually went for a run this morning, so I'm not that out of shape, hopefully. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's look at the questions instead of talking about being out of shape. Whew. Eleanor M said, hey, Danica, can you come to Australia to do a meet and greet, please? I actually really want to go to Australia. Australia is probably either number 1 or number 2 on my list of countries where I want to go, just in general for life. Not necessarily for meet and greets, although maybe I would do one when I was there. That'd be cool. But just in general, like, I really want to go there because I love beaches and hot weather. Maybe it's not hot all the time, but I feel like what I've seen, it's pretty nice weather. Maybe not. And I don't know, I just love your accents and stuff, so I think it'd be really fun. So, yeah. Shobo Love says, I love your channel. Thank you so much. I love making the videos, so I'm glad that people like watching them because it helps me have more reasons to make them. So that's really good. Wow, why is my throat so dry? Why is my throat so dry? Kelly Petrie says, have you ever participated in a JDRF walk? If so, what was your experience? I have. I used to do those every single year, actually, for like, how many years? I did it the first year I was diagnosed, and then I did it every single year up until like college. So I was diagnosed when I was 11. And I stopped in college because I always started college like right before the walk. And so I would like go to college and then the walk would be happening, and it was like, I literally just left for college. I can't just come back. So yeah, it was kind of like that. But for a long time, that was my thing. Like I had a team. We made t-shirts. Usually we had a party before the actual walk where we got everyone together. We had pizza. We made t-shirts for our team. And then we went around the neighborhood in groups, in 2 different teams actually. And we raised money, and then obviously raised money on your own. And we came together on walk day. And it was just so fun. Ours was at an amusement park, so we got to ride the rides afterwards. We got free food. We got to walk. We got to be like, yeah, let's cure diabetes. So if you haven't done a walk yet, I would definitely suggest it. It doesn't have to be JDRF. There's American Diabetes Association, maybe even more than that. Oh, there goes my CGM. But yeah, they're really fun, and it's just really cool to like look around and see a bunch of insulin pumps, and a lot of vendors come, so you can like learn about other insulin pumps, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm a tiny bit high, just a tiny bit. 198. I was low earlier and I like ate a lot because I had to drive. So anyway, yeah. So they're really fun. I really like them. Okay. Oh, this is sweet. Kylie Einstein says, this isn't diabetes related, but are you happy to be out of school at the moment? I am happy to be out of school. It's kind of weird, just because I've been in school pretty much literally my entire life, since I was 5. But I recently graduated for the final time as far as I know. Maybe I'll go to master's program. Probably not. It's very expensive. I was moving my hands a lot in this video. But it's more fun that way, right? It's more interactive. Anyway, so yeah, I'm done with school forever, so I'm gonna enter the real world and get a job. I already have a job, I haven't started yet, and start making money to pay back my loans. So I'm excited about that, and I'm excited about like not having homework at night. My time is my own. I can do what I want. I don't have to study for the most part. I've studied for the CDE exam, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Whew. That is a dry throat I have. That is a dry throat I have. Kashama throat. Could you not? Could you not? Kashama Thacker said, last time I inserted my sensor, I started bleeding profusely. Maybe I hit a vein or a capillary. So is there a trick you use to avoid this situation? Are you aware of any tools? I am actually not aware of any tools. I wish I was so I could help you out. Sometimes that happens to me, but not always. I don't know, it just kind of depends. But yeah, how would you prevent that? I guess if you notice that like one particular spot is doing that. Why is my throat doing this? It wasn't doing this earlier. I'm fucking eating candy or something. If you notice that one particular spot is doing that over and over again, like maybe pick a spot that has more fat and like more padding so that hopefully there's more between the capillaries and the skin. Otherwise, I haven't really heard of ways to actually like prevent that, you know. But that would be nice. Oh, this is a cool question. Shelly Marie Robinson says, hi, have you ever checked your non-diabetics friend's blood sugar? I have. One of my friends growing up especially, she really liked to check her blood sugar. And so the first time I do it to kind of like, I don't know, like the first time I told her about my diabetes, I remember I was a little bit nervous because I was like younger, I didn't really know how. And then when I did, she was super cool about it. And so I wanted to kind of like let her know what diabetes is like. And so I was like, you know, if you want to check your blood sugar, you can. And she's funny and like not crazy, but you know, like crazy in that sense, like woohoo, crazy. So she like liked it and she like wanted to check every time she saw me. And I was like, you know, test strips are expensive, Lancets aren't free, like sorry, but yeah. So she was funny about that. And sometimes like if my friends are worried that they have diabetes just because they have like one symptom, like maybe they're peeing a lot or something, I'm like, you know what, let's just ease your fears, let's just check right now and make sure. And so that's what we'll do. So yeah, I've done it quite a few times actually. It's kind of fun, you know. Also in nursing school, when we were learning about diabetes care, we had to all check our blood sugars, and it was kind of funny. So I would help some of the people out because I've obviously had some experience with that. So, oh. Eleanor likes my nails. Thank you. My friend Tiffany actually treated me to get my nails done. So I don't usually do that, but I think they look so nice when they are done. But yeah, anyway. Danny Hannah says, I love how positive you are towards your diabetes. There are so many times that it can get you down, and when I watch your videos, it helps me so much. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. I'm glad it helps you. I wish there was more people that make videos about diabetes, honestly, because they help me too, I think. Like, I follow some people that make diabetes videos, but there aren't a lot that make them consistently, and it's just nice when there are, because I feel not alone. So, yeah. Minecraft Sir says, can you come to Georgia for a meet and greet, please? Someone else said, come to Indiana, come to or at least Chicago. I was in Chicago kind of recently. I didn't do a meet and greet, though. Georgia, I mean, I want to go everywhere. Let's be real. But do I have the budget? Not right now. But that would be really cool. You gonna pay to fly me out there? Sounds great. Let's do a world tour, y'all. Hey, meet everything. I'm thinking the best opportunity, honestly, to do a meet and greet would be if I go to another conference or convention, because that's when diabetics from all over will be together. I won't have to travel everywhere. I can just be like, hey, you want to meet me? I'll be here. So yeah. Jennifer Quillen said, my feet hurt a lot in the morning, like to where I almost can't walk. Why is that other than working hard? I've never heard of that. Is your blood sugar high when that happens? Like, have you noticed a correlation, like when your blood sugar is super high, your feet hurt more? Or, I don't know, I would definitely talk to your doctor about it, or your whatever diabetes team, anyone you talk to about your diabetes care, because they could kind of do some what's the word? Brainstorming with you to like kind of see what would be causing that, because I don't know if you have like diabetic neuropathy where you have trouble with sensation on your feet and everything, but yeah, definitely I haven't really heard of that. So yeah, I'd ask your doctor for sure. Carnivine. Hugo Milo Sweets. I can't say your name. I'm sorry. Hugo says, how do you tell friends you have diabetes in a simple way? They always think I can't have sugar, and it's really annoying. So I haven't had to explain diabetes in a little bit, just because I was in nursing school and, like, I don't know, we learned about diabetes. But the way I usually would tell people, I would say I have type 1 diabetes. You're probably more familiar with type 2 diabetes, but they actually are pretty different. So I have to make generalizations when I explain diabetes simply, unfortunately. So I try to say this isn't always the case, but I say generally type 2 diabetes is more lifestyle-based. It can be. They believe there's a correlation where maybe if you're not exercising as frequently as you should, if you're not eating as well as you should, that can lead to your body trying to produce enough insulin to take care of it, and it just can't, and your blood sugars go high, and it's more about insulin resistance. But that's not always the case. There are plenty of diabetics type 2 that are super healthy and they still get it. But it's more about insulin resistance, so you still make insulin, but you just can't use it properly, and then eventually you might not make any. Whereas with type 1 diabetes, you don't make insulin at all. And it's autoimmune disease, so my immune system attacks my pancreas, I don't make insulin, and so I take it artificially. So you can either take it through shots or a pump. I take it through a pump, and then I just kind of explain that whatever I eat, I match with insulin based on the carb amount, and yeah, and then I kind of just leave it there, and I see if they want to know more, they can ask questions, and I'll answer it. And if not, some people are content with just that, and they'll be like, okay, interesting. I didn't know there was 2 types, most of the time is what they say. So, yeah, hopefully that's semi-concise. I mean, there is a lot that goes into it, so it's hard to be too concise. You know what I'm saying? Redhead Ballerina 222 says, have you ever been bullied for being a diabetic? I actually haven't, and so I feel like I've been super blessed in that sense. Because I have heard of people being bullied for it, which is really, really unfortunate. Kids bully for anything, honestly, and it's really sad because there's plenty of kids that get bullied way too much, and it's really bad. Anyway, but I haven't been bullied. I had a friend at diabetes camp that said that someone in her class had told people that, like, diabetes was contagious, even though clearly it's not. Okay, just saying it's not. So she, like, all the kids in her class or her school or whatever wouldn't want to play with her, like even touch her, hang out with her, because they thought they were gonna get diabetes. And like when I heard that, I was just like, really? Like you gotta just spread lies for no reason just so she doesn't have friends? Like, that's not cool. So thankfully I haven't, but it definitely happens. And I think that the best way to like avoid bullying, it's really hard, but you gotta like tell somebody, like an adult that can try to help you. And it's also I don't know, just really hard. Bullying is awful. It's a really big issue for everything. But I guess an important thing to realize if you're being bullied is, like, it's really not about you most of the time. Most of the time it's about the bully's own issues, and it's just like you happen to be there and they found something they feel like they can make fun of, and they do, and they'll make fun of anything. So it's not even personal to you. It's just like they just want to make fun of people. So unfortunately. But yeah, find an adult you trust to help you. Not cool. Cute. Jennifer Quillen or Killen, I don't know how to say your name, I'm sorry, said, what are the symptoms of diabetic neuropathy? What I've heard is that like it feels like you're walking on pins and needles. Either your feet can feel numb or they can feel like tingly. Yeah, it just depends. But definitely ask your doctor. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, it definitely hurts though. I've heard that's a symptom as well. But yeah. Okay. Kylie Einstein says, is it weird to not have diabetes? Is it weird to not have diabetes but want to spend a day as if you have it? Do you not have diabetes, Kylie? Or does one of your friends maybe not that said that? I don't think that's that weird. I think wanting to spend a day makes sense. And I think that's really cool if you have a friend or if you aren't diabetic and you want to spend a day as a diabetic. Because obviously I feel like the reason that someone would want that is to get more insight into what diabetics actually go through on a day-to-day basis and kind of understand more maybe what their friend or their significant other works with. So I think that that's cool. I think that that's cool. It makes sense to me. Eleanor M says, does your hair ever get frizzy? I think she means frizzy, because my doctor said you can get frizzy hair if you're diabetic because the insulin does it. I've never heard that. I do tend to have frizzy hair. I mean, I curled my hair today, so it looks less frizzy, but I kind of have always, even before I had diabetes, like kind of dryish hair, but I didn't think that was insulin related. I've never heard that, but I don't know. Okay, Music Geek has asked this a lot of times, so I should probably answer it. He said, "What?" They said, "What do you use to treat lows? Have you ever tried powdered sugared candy Smarties? I use them and I think they work very well." Powdered sugar candy. Powdered. I don't know what that is. Clearly, I have had Smarties, which in the U.S. are like little circle thingies. And they look like medicine, kind of. But I know in other countries, Smarties are more like what we have M&Ms here. So, but I haven't heard of like the powder version. Like it's just a powder. I haven't tried that at all. But that's cool. Kilman says, when you played team sports, how did you manage your lows? Did you decrease your basal rate during or before practice hours? I did. So if you don't know, I played soccer, I played basketball, and I did track. I only did track for 1 year, but basketball I played from like 5th grade on. Soccer I've been playing like basically since I was 5 until college. Well, not college. Did I play? I think I played on a rec team. No, I didn't actually. Until high school. And yeah, I did do a temp basal. So usually what would happen, I used to be on shots though. I was doing shots. I think on shots I would just have a snack and hope for the best and check my blood sugar. And with the pump, I do negative basal. So in basketball, for instance, for a game, I would do negative like 80% insulin. So I'm getting 80% less basal. And of course, I would check my blood sugar before. I would try to check halfway through and also after. And usually that worked very well, actually, especially with that kind of sport, basketball. Like, it's so active and intense that it's more like your adrenaline kicks in. So with those kind of sports, my blood sugar would actually spike because of the adrenaline that was working in my body. And then I would go low hours later. So it could be anywhere from 2 hours later to 8 hours later. I could literally go low from a basketball game 8 hours later, which sounds crazy. So I would also then, after doing the negative 80% or whatever it was, that was just my number. Like your number could be different. You just have to kind of play around with it. But after doing that, at night when I would go to bed, I would do, usually for me, I would do negative 20% for 2 hours. And that was just kind of to make sure I was fine throughout the night. I made sure I was above 100 before I went to bed. Because like I said, I could go low while I was sleeping later. And my parents were really sweet, and they would check me at 2 a.m. to make sure that I wasn't low, because that was before I had the CGM. So that was really good. Oh gosh. Christopher Wilson said, I had a coworker who heard that I had lost weight when I was diagnosed with type 1, and she actually prayed for diabetes so that she could lose weight. That's awful. I mean, when I lost weight because I got diagnosed, I was like, well, I mean, it's horrible, but that's kind of a perk, I guess. But yeah, that's ridiculous that she would actually pray for diabetes. Like, is it really worth the trade? Wouldn't you rather just try some more exercise and eating better? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. I have heard people joke about that though. Like, I kind of think those jokes are funny where it's, you get some random perk because of diabetes. Like, you can bring in a snack to a basketball game or something like, or like a concert, or you get to, whatever you get to do. There's not, I mean, whatever. You get something special for diabetes, and my friend will be like, oh, I wish I had diabetes. And they clearly don't mean it, but I find that kind of funny because it's like, haha, yeah, right. But anyway, that was unrelated. Redhead Ballerina 222 said, do you have any relatives with type 1 diabetes? My sister has been diabetic for 13 years, and I was just diagnosed in January of 2015. I actually don't. I don't have any relatives with type 1 diabetes, which is part of why it was so hard when I was first diagnosed, is because I didn't know anybody with type 1 diabetes. My grandma used to have type 2, and she's actually able to reverse it, which was amazing. So, yeah, like, she was still checking her blood sugar, but they were perfect, and she was like, well, I lost weight, like, I'm not eating a bunch of sweets, and now I don't have type 2. So that was pretty nice for her. And then also, on my other side, my grandma's sister had type 2, but nobody had type 1. Yeah. So that's kind of, I mean, it's not cool, whatever, that your sister has diabetes too, but it is in a sense, because at least if you're going to have it, at least someone that close to you in your family has it too, and you can kind of always have that person to rely on. Like, I had my roommate, when I had my internship in New Jersey at Novo Nordisk, her name was Amy, and she is a diabetic as well. And that was so cool. Like, it's not the same as having a sister, obviously, but similar. Like, you're living in the same house together and you both have diabetes. And I love that. Like, we could joke about so many things and, like, talk about so many things that you can't always talk about with diabetics, because they might not get it. You don't want to explain. And you're just like, yeah, whatever. Like, my day was great. Like, I don't know. Like, if something diabetes related happened, you could just be, like, fully open about it instead of wondering, like, will this person understand this story? How much will I have to explain this story? I think I won't tell it. But you know they'll understand, so you do tell it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of talking in circles. Let me take a sip of water. Sometimes I don't know if it makes sense, but hopefully that kind of makes sense. Musketeer99 said, I've heard that diabetics can have a harder time healing from cuts and injuries. How can diabetics improve wound healing? The only time when you'll have trouble healing from wounds, as far as I know, is if your blood sugars are out of range. So high blood sugars makes it harder to heal. What I learned in nursing school is that it's because, well, a lot of reasons. Like, when your blood sugar is high, it can decrease perfusion, they call it. So less blood flow might be getting to that area to bring things needed to heal, and to also take things away that is waste product that they don't need anymore. Also, when your blood sugar is high, bacteria loves sugar. Like, that's how it lives, that's how it thrives. And so when you've got a lot of sugar in your body, the bacteria loves it, and it's going to hang out in there, and that's why it can lead to infection and all that stuff. So the best way to improve healing is to keep your blood sugars in range and not high, as far as I know. Running on insulin said, I gained weight before diagnosis. It's horrible. I didn't even get the good aspects. That is really unfortunate. I wonder why that would happen. That's interesting. I'm sorry about that. I mean, there's other good aspects too. You get to meet some awesome people. You get to connect with people in awesome ways. There's a whole video about the things that can be looked at as good about diabetes. But yeah, it's like, for me, it's like you lose weight when you're diagnosed, but then insulin causes you to store more weight. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking for a question. Music Geek says, have you ever performed in front of a crowd? When I performed for a musical, I went high for all 5 performances, but I really don't want to go low in my next musical. How can I fix going high? I have performed in front of a crowd. I never had, like, a main part, but I was in a couple plays as, like, you know, like the background singer chorus thing, and then I also had, like, a small speaking role in one of the plays, and I really liked it. I remember I wore my pump under my costume. I think I had, like, spandex shorts on or something. I, like, clipped it on there. And I feel like, it's hard for me to remember. It's kind of a while ago. But I feel like I was high during my performance too. It's the same type of thing. I just really didn't want to go low on stage and ruin everything and, like, forget my line or something. So I feel like I mean, depending on how much you're on stage, I feel like if you're on stage like once, like a couple times every couple months, and you're a little bit high, I would say for me, I wouldn't mind that much just because it's temporary and it's just kind of like, well, like I can't go low during this, but talk to your doctor because they might have a different opinion. But yeah, so I think, I don't know, like for me, I probably would just run on the higher side, not high, not like 300s high, but like, 170-ish, just to like make sure I don't go low and just keep a good eye on it, especially if you're like the main person. I feel like that'd be really hard. But yeah, that's my general thoughts on it. My general thoughts on it. Carolyn Weber says, literally just got home from the endo, my first time getting my A1C tested since diagnosis. My A1C was 6.1. Yay, Carolyn or Caroline. That's an awesome A1C. Nicely done. I wish mine was 6.1. I'm happy with mine right now, actually, but 6.1 is very good. I'm very happy for you. For real. It sounded sarcastic. I'm serious. I'm really happy for you. Danny Hanna said, at what age did you get your first CGM? I got my CGM in college about, not that long ago, honestly. 3 years ago? 3 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago, I got it. And I love it. Diabetic Eleanor said, have you ever had to use the glucagon emergency kit? I haven't, actually. I'm very thankful for that. I've never had to use the glucagon, which is the emergency shot for when you're low. Yeah, I've never passed out from being low or being high or ever from anything, diabetes related or not. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, okay. I am going to look for questions. Well, I feel like we're getting really good questions in the live stream. And you guys are the ones watching, so maybe I'll stay in the live stream. I was like, I haven't gone to Instagram in a while, but you're the ones watching, so you probably want your questions answered, right? I'm probably going to be on for like 10 more minutes, and then I gotta go. But yeah, Shovel Love says, can you check your blood sugar right now? I have a CGM, so I'm not going to waste the test strip because it's not like time for me to check. But my CGM says 193 with a straight arrow. So I'm steady with a little bit of IOB, a little bit of insulin on board. So yeah, that's what it is right now according to CGM. But yeah, once it's dinner time for me, then I'll check for real. E. Kilman says, do you have any funny stories of things you have done when you were low? Sometimes I get more goofy when I'm low. Not always, though. It just kind of depends. Either I get really tired or I get really goofy. So one time my mom was like, this isn't really that funny, I guess. But this one time, I don't know, I guess I was acting goofy and my mom was like, you're so funny when you're drunk. I mean, low. She almost said drunk. So I've never been drunk, but I'm guessing how you act when you're low can sometimes be kind of how you act when you're drunk. So that's kind of funny. One time, I've told the story before, but I was low in the middle of the night, and this was back when I was younger, and my parents would check me in the middle of the night before I had a CGM to make sure I wasn't low, and I was low. And my mom brought me these cookies, and I was like all about these cookies. I was like, wow, these cookies are so good. These cookies are really good. And if you don't know, at least for me, when I'm low, everything tastes amazing. And this was before I kind of had realized that maybe. No matter what it is, anything tastes really good when you're low, basically. But I was like raving about these cookies, right? So my mom was like, oh, wow, I hadn't tried those cookies yet. I wonder if those are good. So I went back to bed, and I guess the next day my mom told me she, on my suggestion, went to the pantry and got those cookies, and she was like trying them. And she was like, you know what, Danica, like, those cookies are not that good, actually. Those are actually pretty gross cookies. Like, those are bottom of the barrel type of stuff. I thought that was kind of funny that I was like, that's like our inside joke now. We're like, these cookies are really good. And it's like, nah, they're not though. They're just normal. They're just normal cookies. But yeah. I don't know if that was funny or not. I don't know why my throat is so dry. I'm so sorry about that. I'm so much coughing. Okay. Running on insulin said, not sure if you answered any of this yet because I came in late, but what are you up to with you and work and finding a job. What are your future plans? I haven't actually talked about this yet because I kind of talked about it in my last video. But yeah, I graduated nursing school and I took the NCLEX and I became a registered nurse. Oh my gosh, can't even believe it. I'm very happy about that. So I have that, and then I got a job before I graduated, so I already have a job lined up. I just haven't started yet. So I'll be moving in a little bit, and then I'll be starting the job, my training for the job. As a new nurse, you have a lot of training and like preceptorship, where you're with another nurse so that you can kind of get into the groove of being a nurse. So I'm going to be doing that. So that's pretty soon, and then yeah, I'm going to get experience as a nurse, at least 2 years. And then I'll hopefully try to work towards becoming a CDE using those 2 years. And then also I'm going to try to get a couple teaching hours in whenever I get a diabetic patient. Or I might try to like volunteer in maybe diabetes support groups or something so that I can get more teaching hours of diabetes education so that I can become certified as a diabetes educator. So yeah, Angela Press says, is that your bed behind you? Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. This is not my bed. This is a bunk bed. I'm in my brother's old room, and there's bunk beds in here now for when people stay over. And I was like, this is a great opportunity. You know what bunk beds are great for? Putting up blankets as a background. So I'm actually kind of digging this background, and I might film a video here to, yeah, keep it cool. I don't know what I'm saying. I think it looks cool, basically. Diabetic Eleanor says, sorry if I'm annoying. I just have a lot of questions. You're not annoying. That's what I want. I want questions. That is what this is for. So thank you so much for asking questions. Running on insulin said, are you going to be working in a hospital? I am going to be working in a hospital. It is an inpatient pediatric unit, so it's for kids that are staying the night in the hospital. So I'm very excited. I really, really want to do pediatrics, so I was very happy when I got that because I've always loved working with kids. I babysat all growing up. I was a nanny most summers. And I want to do pediatric diabetes education, so I'm very, very happy about that. I'm very happy about it. Kirsten Redmond said that, well, she asked me what state I live in. I don't tell what state I live in just for like safety reasons, but you said that you went to the Steamtown Mall in Scranton, and you also thought it was creepy. Thank you for saying that. I felt bad saying that in the video because I was like, if people are from Scranton, they're going to be offended probably. But it's creepy. I did a day in the life video, and I went to Scranton and to like look at all the cool office stuff from the show The Office. Well, I'm not explaining this well. The show The Office is set in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So I went to Scranton to look around, and it was kind of creepy, basically. but yeah, I still enjoyed it though. I really liked it. Okay, 4 more minutes, y'all. 4 more minutes. You better get in your burning questions. You get those in, okay? Okay. All right. Thanks, Angela. She said it looks really cool. I think she means the backgrounds. That's such a cute little bear emoji. Oh my gosh. This is not diabetes related, but I'm going to say it anyway. Kylie Einstein says, do you play any instruments? I don't technically play any instruments. I took a piano class for a term in college, and I liked it. I've always wanted to play piano, and I've taught myself a few like little dinky, not very hard songs that I really like, but I don't actually like full-on play. I like to sing for fun. Yeah, I was more into sports growing up though than music. Sarah McAvoy says, do you know anyone with monogenetic diabetes? I feel very alone and want to feel like I'm part of the diabetes community. It's been very hard and scary. I feel like I don't know what that is, and I feel like I should. Does it go by another name? I actually don't know what that is, unfortunately, but I'm sure there's more people than just you, so I don't want you to feel alone, and if it causes diabetes, then you are part of the diabetes community. Like, you don't have to feel like you're not, you know? So. E. Kilman said, if you could do anything with a pump that they don't already have, what would it be? So I think what you're saying is like, what features would I want on a pump? I think that's what you're saying. So much. It's like little things, honestly. Like, I can't even think of it right now. Okay, like, there's so many that I'm like, what can I actually say that would make sense? Like, it'd just be awesome, honestly, if everything was in your phone. I know the CGM now, the Dexcom was just approved to be in your phone, and that's really cool. Like, why can't everything just be in your phone? Or like, I've always thought that. Or like, play music from it. Like, stuff like that. And it's just, I find there's a lot of ways you can make pumps better in terms of screens and like navigatability. If that even makes sense. Like navigating screens and going in different menus. I feel like there's different ways that you could adjust for like sick days, and you could increase everything insulin-wise, like not just your basal, but also your bolus and that. Like, I don't know. I'm not making any sense, I feel like, but there's a lot of ways to increase the goodness of pumps. So that's why I liked when the Asante Snap was out. They had me be part of their Diabetes Advocates Advisory Board, and I was able to like go and with other diabetic bloggers talk about what we really, really would want in a pump. And I love that they did that, because I feel like if there's more diabetics talking to the pump companies, you can make them even better. But it's just like little perks that you could add. But obviously you don't want the pump to be huge. You don't want it to be like draining battery for no reason. So I feel like what they have now is good, but it could improve. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Angela Perez said, are you going to post this live stream? I am going to post this live stream. It actually does it automatically for me. So that's good. So if you miss the beginning or the middle or the end or whatever, you can watch it later. So that's good. I mean, if you want to watch it. Also, when people miss it, it helps them if they can like watch it later. But yeah, Elizabeth Carrico said, do you have any tips for dealing with anxiety surrounding lows? I was actually planning on doing a video about this, because this is like a very real thing that I feel like people don't always talk about, but I definitely experience that, especially when I'm really low. It's like, hopefully this is what you're talking about, like where you just feel like, what would happen if I didn't come up from this low right now? Like, and it's a horrible place to go to in your mind, but you're not thinking like the straightest that you could be thinking, because you're low, and it's hard to think when you're low, and you're just kind of scared. And so I feel like that's when I overcorrect and I overtreat with more sugar than I need to, just because I'm worried about not coming up. So what I try to do is, when I'm not low, I try to remind myself that, like, you know, if you overeat, you're going to be high later, and like, will it really be worth it? And you just need to, I don't know, like when you have a better frame of mind, kind of tell yourself that like your blood sugar will come up. Like if you have juice and you keep an eye on it and you're treating and paying attention to it, like it's gonna come up, and that's fine. But like in the moment, it's hard. I'll agree with you. Like it's hard not to have anxiety about it, and honestly, like just reminding yourself that it's gonna be okay, and that you're doing everything you can, and that if worse comes to worse, you can always like grab a friend or a family member and just be like, hey, like I'm really low right now, and I'm sure I'm gonna come up from it, but I'm a little bit worried, and so I would just really appreciate if you were here with me, so that if anything did happen and I passed out, I would just love for you to call 911. And hopefully you've trained them on the glucagon, the emergency shot for lows. Maybe that way you could just hand that to them and just be like, just in case, it would make me feel better if I knew that you would give this to me if I did pass out, and then have them call 911. So yeah, I did that recently. Usually I'm away at college and I have a roommate, and I just like feel weird about it. So I have been home, and so my mom, she was going to go to bed, and I was like pretty low, and I just felt really bad. And I knew I was going to come up. I knew I was fine, but I was just like, it would make me feel better if I had somebody here with me. So my mom was like, do you want me to stay up with you? You know, you're low. And I was like, I actually would like you to stay up with me if you don't mind, just for like 10 more minutes. I know I won't be low in 10 minutes. And she did, and it's reassuring to know that you have like a backup plan just in case. Even though I've never passed out from a low, it's just like, if I was to, I would really, really like someone there. But anyway. Yeah, but it's definitely a hard thing, and lows are a big deal. Like, they're not good for you. So it's, I feel like, a valid thing to kind of not worry about, but to pay attention to. But we gotta do the best we can. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I really want to answer every question, but I can't, because there's not enough time in the day. But I'll definitely be doing more live streams. I might still do that Q&A, not right now, but at some point, just because I feel like Q&As are fun. So that would be like a filmed video where I get questions and answer them. But yeah, I think that's it for today's live stream. Thank you so much for coming and asking questions and talking with me and hanging out with me on my 12th Diaversary. 12 years, hey, that's a long time. I'm proud of myself. So yeah, I will see you guys next time in a video or a live stream or whatever. And I appreciate it. Hopefully you had fun, because I did. Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.